Greetings and peace. I hope you and yours are doing well today, wherever you might be watching this from. And I hope you're all having a wonderful month of September 2021 as we are in the final days of the summer. And may this new season ahead and its autumn bring much happiness and peace for you and all the people that you hold near and dear to your heart. Now, the topic for today's discussion, which has been itching in my mind for a long time, is that the true Freemason in the modern era is the equivalent of finding needles in a haystack. This video is basically an addendum to the previous video I made, which is called The Difference Between the Social Club Mason, the Esoteric Spiritual Mason, Light Mason, and Dark Mason. So you could go in my videos and please watch that if you would so at your convenience. And what I would say in this video, I represent myself as a free man under free speech, always under national, international laws of free speech. I represent no Grand Lodge statements or opinions or any official Masonic body. My channel, as you all know, only talks about things that others refuse to, because that's what a free man does with the tools that he's been given to build something that others refuse to build. So in this build, I was encouraged to make this, to have this very needed and tough conversation. For the last 3 to 4 months, I received communique from several brothers from several jurisdictions in America, one overseas, who says that I joined Freemasonry to be a better man, to learn knowledge, to learn light, to learn love. How can I unite humanity? How can I help people? And these people reached out to me, and I encouraged them as much as I could, but they grew frustrated. They said, all I see is just infighting, dirty politics, one trying to outdo the other, one trying to get different accolades or numbers next to their name, one trying to get 33 or whatever, and everyone's kind of doing each other dirty. And they didn't find no brotherly love, even when the way that they act online in terms of a lot of the fighting that happens, which even non-Masons, when they look at you, they see like, what is the difference between them and the public if this is how they're behaving online, where there's lack of civility, lack of social media etiquette, and even everyone has their issues, even with the women topic. But it's for me as a Muslim, it's funny that you have a society here, especially in the Western world, which says Islam doesn't give rights to our women. But if you want to trigger them, post a picture of the United Grand Lodge of England secretary with the representative of the Women's Freemasons there, and watch them all act the way that they do, which is inappropriate for a Freemason, whether you agree with that or not. As a Freemason, you're supposed to respect your mothers, your daughters, your wives, the divine feminine, the divine masculine within yourself and around you. Even in Islam, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, heaven lies at the feet of your mother. So all of this collective debauchery and nonsense, which goes against the ethics and codes of a true Freemason, even with the recent stuff happening with the appendant bodies and the Knights Templars, and you just see that on all levels there's infighting and the members are not getting what they're looking for. So I had a few of these guys reach out to me from different American states saying that, why am I paying to attend this social club buffoonery where I can get all of this knowledge now online? Even with the COVID restrictions, you see how much Masonic education for free has prospered online. The things that people are looking for, they can search for it and find it now to satisfy their quest for knowledge. It's all out there now. But what is the modern organization doing to treat its members right? I had another guy from from Ireland reach out. He will remain anonymous. Okay, I won't say his name. And the thing about him, he even served on the aspect of retention and recruiting and bringing in new members. And even he said, after 20 years, I'm running around in a circle, but I'm still back at the same spot. What have I really contributed? What have I contributed to society and the world around me? I know one guy recently I love him dearly. A great friend and a brother. He served an appendant body organization here in my local area for 20 plus years. And when the new leadership came in, they ran him out. So that's hurtful for you to dedicate your life, all your blood, sweat, and tears, and you just have to deal with that kind of internal dirty politics that goes from top to bottom. And it's like a business mind, right? You're just a body that warms a position or warms an event, but if you don't show up, who's really going to ask you? I'm somebody myself who has entered this fraternity, left it, and came back again, and I experienced it in more than one country and jurisdiction. And I promised the Sufi elders of the East that I would reform the Masonic Brotherhood in the West within my lifetime. It is a tall order, might take me the rest of my life, but I see, I hear, I observe. And I've been teaching even on this channel for the past 2+ years that the true Freemason is the one who upholds justice, brotherhood, equality, love in his dealing with his self, God, neighbor, country, family, etc., in his job, at his workplace, online, wherever your presence is, whether in the etherical realms, virtual realms, or the physical realms. You must, as a man of your word, promise yourself to uphold yourself to the highest integrity possible, right? But I'm not seeing that, and a lot of these guys are frustrated and they don't see that, and that's why you have this slow death and decline, and it has to change. Something's got to change, where you have at the top, there's not much change coming in. It's like a tight-knit circle within a circle within a circle. Even myself, when I made this channel 2 years ago, I made my channel, talked about things these other guys were refusing to, had on individuals that some of them would never speak to or mention, and even wrote a book. And even in a Masonic education book, spiritual education book, I talk about things that others will never mention in theirs. And I was basically by myself. Maybe it was one from that spiritual Masonic community that endorsed me, and I thank them for their honesty and true brotherhood. But the rest of them have like their own clique. And no matter what I do, I know the reality. I'm a brown Pakistani Muslim. I would never be good enough for them. So that's another issue that bothers people, is that internal racism. Freemasonry and racism, it's like oil and water. It has no business with each other, and it should never mix, right? So the reality is that when you call somebody your brother, a brother is brother on all levels. Doesn't matter if they're white, black, Middle Eastern, Asian, etc., what their race or religion is. Even myself, I've sat in lodges with Jewish brethren, Christian, Hindu. I see everyone as equal under the fatherhood of God, the grand architect of the universe. That's me. That's what my faith teaches me too, in Surah 2, verse 62 of the Holy Quran, that no matter what path you follow, as long as you believe in God and do the right thing, then on the day of judgment ye shall have no grief or anything to worry about. I see the Masonic altar, all the holy books, volumes of sacred laws. Everyone's on the level. So for me, whether I'm a Sufi Muslim or I'm following what I consider the aspect of Sufism or Islamic mysticism in the guise of Freemasonry for these people here in the West, it's all one and the same for me. And look at it this way. It's your heart that counts the most. Any Mason would tell you that. True Mason, where you don't see anybody beneath you and you love and respect everybody equally. And I see where a lot of these people are frustrated. I remember this when I was in the process of leaving the fraternity in my previous jurisdiction. There was a individual who had laughed me out. He thought, oh, just look at him. He was just laughing at me, like thinking that he was high and mighty, better than me. Now that same guy has a 33 next to his name. So you see where people get frustrated and they just kind of like leave and be like, I don't want nothing to do with these pseudo-intellectuals thinking that they're spiritual and all that. But they're just like people that just stick with each other. They have their own cliques. They don't help each other. I know another guy. He was a tiler for 2 years in his lodge. That guy only has one leg. He's Middle Eastern. He has one leg. He's Middle Eastern. And there were people who made derogatory remarks to him. And this guy was serving his lodge with his blood, sweat, and tears on one leg. And he did it with the best of his ability. And I spoke to him recently, and he did have that. He was disheartened a little bit. And I told him, what does Masonry teach you? I said, put your family, put your responsibilities, your health, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, put all of that first, because you are the temple. You have to establish that personal connection with the grand architect of the universe in whichever way you see fit. So, see, these individuals that I come across, these are the true Freemasons, like the needles in a haystack, like I mentioned. And I'm thankful to the brotherhood, even with the friends that I made, lifelong friends. I'm grateful. And it's my personal quest, what I'm doing with my channel, my speaking engagements, my dealing with others, even dealing with individuals in the spiritual community, in the conscious and spiritual community. I see nobody from Freemasonry engaging them. I'm the one. I'm reaching out to a lot of these people, and I will continue to do so even in the future as well, to teach them not all Muslims are bad, not all Freemasons are bad. So you have to be the light in whichever place that you look at. It's like what Imam Rumi said, the Grand Master of the Mevlevi Sufi order, that in the aspect of looking around and seeing that everything in this darkness, you might be the light of that place. So always honor yourself, know thyself, know thy Lord. Know thy Lord, know thyself, vice versa. We're here in this short spiritual life, short test, this life, dream-like state. I see people just hurting each other, doing each other dirty, and at the end, you do get reminded of your death, right? So, the only wealth that you'll carry with yourself is what good did you do for yourself and others. That's the real spiritual wealth that you will carry into this next life. And even the Sufi traditions, it teaches you that the angel of death visits you 5 times a day during the daily prayers. And anytime God tells him to take you, it's over. There goes your ego, your pride, your wealth, your titles. Gone. Everything is gone. So that's why I say in this world right now, where there's so much division, chaos, true Freemasons have to step up to the plate. Engage everyone and everything around you, including the spiritual community, even those who talk bad about the brotherhood. Engage everybody like I'm doing, right? I have so many, my recent guests and the people that I've been having on, a lot of these guys would never do it. Why am I doing it? Because I know it's between me and the grand architect of the universe, God, in which I see and understand this path, that I have to be the light. I have to spread this light, education, bring unity between all factions, tell people that we're all in this together. It's like even with Benjamin Franklin, who's very highly revered in the Masonic world. He said either we hang together or hang separately. Many now might like him because of his background or what he did, or everyone has their own issues. But to use that statement from someone that's revered, it's important, the aspect of unity. Unity is very important. You can't just call somebody your brother and go online and post all of this nonsense and fall into these traps of misinformation and division. As a Freemason, you're supposed to set apart and be set apart from the normal individual as a beacon of light, as a beacon of inspiration. Look at me. I don't wear no rings, no hat, mask, shirts. How do people know I'm a Freemason? It's through my character and how I deal with others. It's how I deal with others, and they ask me, Sal, who are you? What's your background? Your etiquette, the way that you sit down, you stand up, the way you talk to people, the way you engage others, your loving and kind nature. I'm not perfect. This is what people tell me. I'm not perfect. I still have a lot of things that I need to work on about myself. Right? But that excuse of imperfection doesn't excuse indecency. You should always be a decent human being at all times in dealing with self, others, in the lodge room. So in today's world, I'm seeing people that are just chasing after the social club stuff, the good old boy network, making connections, chasing titles or ranks or whatever. That doesn't bother me, because my faith teaches me in Surah 5 of the Holy Quran that the life of this world is nothing but a game and a deception, but only if they knew. And by they, it refers to humanity. So that's the way I see it. Every day could be my last day. And with that, I treat myself, others, those that I love and care for, my neighbor, everyone that I see with love and respect. Deep down inside, all of humanity and that inner child is someone that's waiting to be healed, recognized, loved, and accepted. What do most people want, no matter what socioeconomic status or neighborhood you look in? They want enough resources to live a good life, see their family happy, see themselves happy, and be able to enjoy their life. Everyone's human at the end. But why do we let these agents of chaos divide us? Why do we let these people divide us? It's like even what George Washington said, that he had feared that the Brotherhood would get infiltrated as time would go on. And that's the concern many are having today, in the aspects of different acceptances, the way things happen, the way things fall in place. True Freemasons are those that join to improve their self and the world around them. They're not joining for the politics or the social club stuff or any of the making connections and rubbing each other's back. They don't care about that stuff. I never did. I never will. I found true Freemasons. I traveled all the way to another country just to sit in lodge with them. How about that? And I'm going to do that soon too, even with the COVID restrictions. So the true Freemason is the one who knows no bounds. He will travel any distance to be able to be with those that show their word and loyalty to him, and vice versa, he to them. And this one of the brothers from the other country, he respected me. He said, "You're coming all the way from America just to attend a lodge meeting here, even with the COVID going on?" I said, "Why not?" I said, "During my time of need, they showed me loyalty and respect. And as true Freemasons, your word, your strength, your loyalty, your commitment and integrity are the greatest assets that you have. The title and character of an honest man is the greatest thing that you can ever have in your life. It's not $1 million in my bank account, or living in a nice neighborhood, or being in a fancy home. I mean, look at my place, right? This is where I'm at. But I make the best of what I have. I'm not greedy, or I'm not going to look at other people dirty just because I want a certain number next to my name, certain title, or certain position. And at the end, I walk past the graveyard. They're all 6 feet under in the same grave equally. Does it make a difference? Or is it, what good did you do for yourself and others? And this is my answer to those that have been reaching out to me constantly for these past several months, telling me I'm done with this. I'm done with this nonsense. I'm learning all this stuff for free online at home without dealing with any of the BS. Excuse my language. But I'm just sharing their sentiment. And there has to be a change. There has to be a change. And people have to get out of their inner circle mentality. How long can you get away with it for? A year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years? Eventually, the angel of death does come and get you. And that's a reality. I accept that. You have to accept it too. Even you look at people that sell out in these industries and all that stuff. What peace do they have at the end? Nothing. Imam Ali, a great master revered by the Sufis, Grand Master, says that he who sells this life for the next loses either of them. But think about all these things that I'm telling you. Why is the true Freemason like a needle in a haystack in the modern era? Because why is the world in chaos? The world should not be in chaos when where is the existence of the Masonic Brotherhood. That is unacceptable that the world should be in the state that it is when we have Freemasons in this world. We should be building each other up, building our communities, building our country, building the societies around us. There's, in my area, I could go to the local Grand Lodge and I see homeless people sleeping outside on the other end of it, right? And those that retire from Grand Master positions, once they retire, they got a $100,000 pension for life. They're nowhere to be seen after that. They retire to their nice country town and they got money's coming in. Doesn't make a difference. Got their nice little circle. So, see, that's where you have the individual that gets frustrated, who's on the other end of the spectrum. It's about knowledge, equality, charity, fraternity, liberty, beauty, the arts, the sciences, improving yourself, improving the world around you. I've had that knowledge, and that's something that no one can take away from me, even at this point. I have it, it's mine forever. It's my heart, my soul, my physical temple, me chipping away at my rough ashlar to become a smooth ashlar, and my personal relationship with the Creator, whose will I serve in this lifetime, as a Sufi, as a Mason, and so many other things. Even before becoming a Mason, all this lifestyle of self-improvement and knowledge and all that stuff was already being followed in my Sufi Islamic lifestyle. So nothing changes for me. Nothing changes for me. But I do owe a promise to the Sufi elders of the East that I will reform the Masonic Brotherhood in the West. And I will continue to do so in my speaking engagements at different lodges, teaching the brothers and those that are in those paths, whether Sufism, Freemasonry, or whichever path that they're an initiate of, that be true to yourself. Because if you're not a true Freemason on the Masonic path, or if you're not a true Sufi on the Sufi path, you're only cheating yourself. Because his eye is always watching you, right? So the aspect of the eye of the Creator is always watching you. Always. In the Sufi tradition, you have the 99 names of Allah. Al-Basir is one of those 99 names, who's always watching you. No one gets away with anything. So if you're on the Sufi path, Masonic path, any path, and you deviate away from that path, you're not being kind to yourself and others, you're not hurting anybody but your own self. Because it's the laws of the universe. It goes around, comes around, goes around, comes around. What you put out into it, that's what you get. What you reap, that's what you shall sow. I've seen it time and time again. So be kind. The true Freemason should not be a needle in a haystack. He should be the whole haystack. And I shouldn't have to tell you these things. You should know these from a common sense point of view. But as we see with the world going through all of this chaos and more continuous chaos on the way within the next 9 to 10 years, the roaring 20s, you could say, part 2, what we're dealing with now, is we have to be the shining examples of beacon and light. We can't be the ones that people look at us and be like, what's the difference between me and them and the public? I see the public fighting online over trivial stuff on social media. I see these guys fighting. Then what do I want to do anything with them? Is it just about money? Or is it the knowledge? I can learn all that stuff for free. Now you have all of these podcasts and lectures. Even myself, I'm almost at 100 Masonic education videos. Never mind the spiritual stuff, the 5 to 7 minute spiritual videos that I put out now, with the lectures that I put out these last 2 years, all for free. I didn't get nothing out of it. It's because I wanted to put that knowledge out there for those that were willing to learn from it and seek from it. I had many people reach out to me. You changed my perception of Islam. You changed my perception of Freemasonry. What did I get out of it? Nothing. But if I was able to change the heart and mind of one person, then I fulfilled my purpose in life. as the true Freemason and as a true Sufi. Not to spread hate, not to spread chaos, not to call somebody a brother and go online and degrade their race or religion or background. No, I'm better than that. I promise to be better than that. So this is what it is. You are given everything. If you choose not to do nothing about it, you can't blame anybody. It's you. So focus on your self-improvement. And don't let any of the haters get under your skin. Right? I let them do it the first time, and I came back stronger than ever. So it's just the way it works. Just the way it works. You have to learn from your downfalls and rising back up and knowing who I am, what my purpose is, what I stand for. What did God send me on this earth for? Who am I really? Ask these questions to yourself daily. And I shouldn't be having to say that the true Freemason is like a needle in a haystack. He should be the whole haystack in a world full of chaos. In a world full of chaos, it shouldn't be the case. Where everywhere the brotherhood is, there should be peace, tolerance, understanding, unity, brotherhood. And that's what we should strive towards, not division. What has any of that given anything to humanity so far? What kind of world are you leaving behind for your children, your grandchildren, and those that will come after them? Is it just about the clicks or titles or accolades? What if your life ends right now? What good did any of that do for you? Did it? Or what good did you leave behind for others and your loved ones and your family? That's the most important wealth. That's what matters most. And that's the true spiritual and esoteric Mason, the one who lifts his lower nature and rises into a higher being. Same thing with Sufism. You deal with the nafs, with your lower self, or what the Prophet, peace be upon him, described as the greatest jihad is with your own self. Conquer your own self. If you conquer yourself in terms of your habits, in terms of your lifestyle, what you're doing, then you're good. Anything that brings you down, right, or puts you in a negative state of behavior, such as alcohol, or not being loyal to your spouses, not being loyal to your brothers, not being loyal to your friends, to your neighbors, people you do business with. There's nothing Masonic about any of that. That's just you and your ego, thinking you could get away with everything. But there does come a time when accountability comes. But I'm not going to spoil that for you. But I'll just say it this way. Be true. Here, I'm giving you a key. Use this key to open your heart, mind, body, and soul. And tell God, the grand architect of the universe, whom the Mason puts his trust in, that use me as you see fit. I use that prayer every day. He puts people in my life, all the things that I'm meant to do, people that I'm meant to see, places that I'm meant to go. There were some people who were meant to speak to me so I could help them out in some way. And there was a woman I ran into the other day who was asking me about finding peace through these different faiths. And I told her, have faith in yourself. Trust your own divine feminine intuition. And never let these charlatans that are out there in these spiritual groups, and everyone's a guru these days, to use you or exploit you in any way. Have faith in yourself. Have some integrity, self-respect. Same thing for the Masonic brothers. Stand up for what's right. Uphold the truth, justice, equality, fraternity, liberty in all venues of your life, including your lodges. You do that for your lodges and community, you don't have to worry about no decline. And what I see, all this internal nonsense and infighting and these childish games that they're playing with each other from these different bodies and all the way down, just let it go, man. Just let it go. Focus on yourself, become one with God, and help yourself. And I shouldn't be receiving these messages from these brothers saying that they're just going to enjoy the online version of it and just focus on their own private self. So think about all these things that I'm telling you. Think about it, and of course, it's only going to come from my mouth. No one else is going to have the courage to talk about it. But I trust God, so I don't fear anybody. I know I will serve my purpose for what I was manifested for in this lifetime by the Grand Architect of the universe. So with that said, again, just like I gave you the disclaimer at the beginning, I represent myself only. I don't represent any Masonic authority or Grand Lodge or body. This is myself as a free man under free speech with my personal observance of what I see. And again, before I end this video, the true Freemason in the modern world should not be a needle in a haystack. He should be the whole haystack and spread love and light wherever his presence takes him. And I'm telling you these things from the bottom of my heart. Life is too short. Don't break anybody's heart. If there's anybody you need to call, text, apologize to, please do it. Do the right thing. Stand up for what's right. Put your family first. Put your responsibilities first. Put your health first. That's what the true Freemason does. Anything that takes you out of that zone, it severs your connection with yourself and with the Almighty. So think about it. Think about everything, because that internal fight between light and darkness happens in all races, religions, countries, and groups of the world. And it's my job to reform this within my lifetime. And I will. I have seen what's to come with the gift that God has given me. And the good always win in the end. Trust me on that. So with that, I hope you were able to take something from this, my 96th Masonic education video. And I wish all of you and yours a great, beautiful rest of September ahead. Much love to all of you.